Hi, folks. I am back for another installment on what you might want to know about COVID 19 and all that talk about the Delta variant. If you ask me, it is getting both scary and confusing. To tell you the truth, when you are being attacked by an invading army that wants to do you harm, kill you, or control you, that is just how they want you to be scared and confused. This presentation is for the purpose of hopefully helping you become confident and clear headed at this point of the pandemic. Just to review my credentials and to let you know that I don't make a habit of steering folks wrong, I did undergraduate work at Williams College, medical school at Howard University, training at the University of South Alabama, and postgraduate study at the Harvard University School of Public Health. I am board certified in internal medicine and addiction medicine. I have been doctoring for 43 years at the time of this video, and I have been a medical director of multiple healthcare organizations for 39 of those 43 years. Many of you by now have gotten a COVID 19 vaccination. Thank you. This is the first line of defense against the pandemic. However, many of you have not gotten the vaccine for one reason or another. Whatever the reason, this has allowed the COVID 19 virus to study up on how to be a more effective killer. Viruses like COVID 19 take advantage of people who are not vaccinated. And because these people are not vaccinated, the virus has plenty of time to reproduce it themselves, which of course is what causes people to get sick, really sick, or die. When the COVID 19 virus invades a person who has not gotten vaccinated or is poorly vaccinated, the virus is allowed to set up shop, start up a factory, and produce great quantities of itself. On top of that, the factory can produce slight variations or different forms of the virus. These variations or forms could mean that there is a slight change in how contagious or deadly the virus can be. An infected person can now spread these different forms of the virus to other people, whether they are vaccinated or not. The more contagious forms of the virus will be the ones that can invade and infiltrate the population better to accomplish its deadly mission. An important variation of the COVID 19 virus at the time of this video is referred to as the Delta variant. The word Delta in science circles can mean change. The word variant also means a variation or change from the original form. In this video, I want to refer to the Delta variant as the Delta force because this change will force us to do things we don't want to do but must do. And let me tell you, the Delta force is not on our side. It is my understanding that the Delta force is intense and is as contagious as chickenpox. Of course, many of you seeing this video don't know anything about chickenpox thanks to the mandated childhood vaccine against this terrible infection. The mission of the Delta Force is to take control of human beings either for a short period of time, a long period of time, or simply kill them. We can't sit still and do nothing. We must combat the Delta Force. If you are listening or reading the same stuff I am reading, you are hearing that folks who have been vaccinated are still coming up positive for COVID 19. No one ever said that COVID 19 virus for those vaccinated would simply roll off them like water off a duck's back. And if I can compare vaccination to getting your car waxed, the wax doesn't keep your car from getting dirty. It just makes it far easier to wipe off the dirt. The same is true with the vaccine. For folks who get vaccinated, it is far easier to get a clean bill of health after having an encounter with the Delta Force. Your body has stored up plenty of ammunition in the form of antibodies or can restock them quickly to fight off the enemy. However, for the short period of time your body is combating the Delta Force, you can still spread it to other folks. However, unfortunately, unvaccinated people won't have the advantage that vaccinated people will have. In my previous video, Busting COVID 19 Myths, I explained that the kill rate for the original COVID 19 invading force was about 1 for every 100 people infected, which is 10 times more deadly than the flu. It is my current understanding that the kill rate is higher for the Delta force. The Delta Force is the product of all that the COVID 19 virus learned through its reconnaissance operation. And this is thanks to all the contributions from folks who have volunteered to not get vaccinated. If you remember all the news stories about medical folks and hospitals getting beat down by having to treat so many victims of COVID 19, maybe you understand how important it is for our communities to join together to keep the Delta Force in check. Those hospital horror stories could be returning to a theater near you. It would also mean the return of severe restrictions on how we can get along with our lives just to stay alive or free from lasting or chronic disease caused by COVID 19. And let us not forget that COVID 19 attacks our blood vessels in mean and mysterious ways. So let me describe the defense plan recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, better known as the CDC. And you know it is their job to spit the truth about how to control disease in America. First, seriously consider joining the Defense Force by getting vaccinated if you have not done so yet. And if a booster is developed and offered, get that too. I sure will be rolling up my sleeve if a booster becomes available and is needed. A booster might be needed if the reconnaissance missions by the Delta Force and other related forces find new ways to accomplish its deadly mission and force us to change up on the type of ammunition or antibodies we use to defend ourselves. This would mean that an additional set of instructions in the vaccine will be needed to guide our body into making different antibodies that strike at the heart of the enemy.
Cool. Cool.
By now, you may have heard a lot about herd immunity. The herd and herd immunity refers to the fact that if, let's say, 7 out of 10 people in a room are vaccinated, it is unlikely that the three unvaccinated people in a room will be together and therefore spread a new infection to another unvaccinated person. However, come to think of it, and sad to say, that it is actually quite possible that these three unvaccinated persons in the room have a good chance of being together because they have similar beliefs or opinions about joining the defense force. And as they say, birds of a feather tend to flock together. Again, I am sad to even think this. The second CDC recommendation is to wear a mask in crowded indoor settings like buses, planes, hospitals, prisons, and homeless shelters. Folks who have joined the Defense Force can still get infected long enough to pass the virus to someone who has volunteered to not get vaccinated. At the time of this video, children less than 12 are still not cleared for the vaccine. This clearance will certainly be welcome relief for parents who have joined the Defense Force because they don't want their children to lend any assistance to the enemy virus Delta Force. So, children old enough to wear a mask should do so for the reasons already stated. The third recommendation by the CDC is really a math equation that we understand that high vaccination plus low community spread equals less need for masking and other prevention strategies. So let me start to bring this video to a close. You may have heard enough of my references and play on words about warfare. However, I can promise you that dealing with a pandemic is no different than fighting a war. America has always come together despite our vast differences to fight enemies that would do us harm. As I said early on in this video, an invading army wants us scared and confused, and I might add, divided. Any commander in a theater of war knows that one of the best ways to be victorious in a war campaign is to create division or take advantage of division in the nation or people it is trying to conquer. The Delta Force is currently enjoying that benefit. Through the grace of God, this has got to stop. To be victorious over the COVID 19 Delta Force, aka Delta variant, the enemy, we must stay together and be together. One band, one sound. This is the American way, or at least the America I remember.